Hi everyone, I'm Yasha and welcome to the 9th episode of Election Scoop. Today we'll be talking about the general elections held all across the United States on November 7th, as well as a little bit on Alabama. Elections were held in Virginia, New Jersey, Washington, and Utah, among others. And to put it lightly, it was a great day for Democrats. Let's start off with the most significant state on this list, Virginia. Going into the election, the race was seen as quite the toss-up, with Democrat Ralph Northam recovering from an ad he ran in poor taste, and Republican Ed Gillespie taking a far turn to the right in an effort to bring out his base. But on election night, Northam won easily, by a margin of 8 points, double the margin of Hillary Clinton's win in the 2016 presidential election. Counties that had formerly been seen as swing counties, like Loudoun and Prince William, were safely in the Northam column by margins of 20 points. Perhaps even more remarkable was the Democratic showing in the House of Representatives of Virginia. Going into the election, Republicans held a 66-34 majority. Now, that has been reduced to just 51-49, and recounts are on the way for 4 Republican-held seats. This is the largest swing in Virginia since 1898. And then there was the Democratic victory in New Jersey, which was more expected, but nevertheless important. Unlike in Virginia, which is under divided government, New Jersey Democrats took back the governor's seat and expanded their majorities in the state legislature, leading them to full control of the state of New Jersey. Democrat Phil Murphy, riding off hate of incumbent Governor Chris Christie, pulled off a 13-point win against Republican Kim Guadagno. It's the best performance for gubernatorial Democrats since 2001. And for state legislature, Democrats had small gains, increasing their majority in the state house from 52-28 up to 54-26, and state senate from 24-16 up to 25-15. A small increase, but by no means an insignificant one. That was one state where the Democrats regained full control, meaning they controlled the governorship and both houses of the state legislature. The other was Washington State, which has gotten very little media attention despite its importance. This is because only one seat was up for election, a special election in the state Senate. But the Senate was currently divided at 25 Republicans, 24 Democrats. Technically there was one more Democrat, but he formed a coalition with the Republicans, giving them control of the state Senate. But on election night, that seat up for election switched hands from Republican to Democrat, giving Democrats a 1-vote edge. And since they already control the governorship and the state house, albeit by a small majority, the Democrats now have full control of Washington State. So that's 2 states. The only major race not seen as a victory for Democrats was the special election in Utah. Republican John Curtis got 57% of the vote, to Democrat Kathy Allen's 27%, with third-party candidate Jim Bennett pulling 9%, and other candidates pulling up the rear. But even this can be spun as somewhat of a victory, or at least a major swing, for Democrats. In the 2016 presidential election, Donald Trump carried Grand County, Utah, by a very slight margin, a few votes. This election, Democrat Kathy Allen won the county by 20 points, a huge swing. And nearby Carbon County went from a 40-point Trump win to only a 10-point Curtis win. The only reason this race was so close was that most of the seat's population is in Provo, where Curtis is mayor, and therefore saw a large swing towards him. But because this race has only 61% of the vote in, since reporting election results for such a solid race is not the media's priority, we really can't say too much more, since we just don't have the numbers. So that's the results of the elections held across the nation on November 7th. I'd now like a little bit to talk about the special U.S. Senate election in Alabama, where Republican Roy Moore and Democrat Doug Jones are facing off. Several women have come forward and accused Moore of molesting them when they were kids, charges Moore vehemently denies. Because we at Election Scoop are going on vacation before the election is held, we won't be able to cover the election until after the new year. But what we do know, that this race is getting a lot more interesting than it already was, which really is saying something. One of the polls we can find since the allegations came out shows both candidates tied at 46%. Another showed Moore having a 2-point lead, and yet another saw Jones leading by 4 points. This race already was much closer than usual by Alabama standards, and now it's looking to be the first nail-biter in a long time in Alabama history. It's a race that's going to bring out all the dirt on both sides, and the pressure is definitely on in Alabama. So thanks for watching, and remember, don't forget to vote.